Hi, welcome to Hack the File. This is Michael Lopez again, and today we're going to be looking at a book that I just bought called Tribe of Hackers. So I bought the blue Tribe of Hackers blue team edition in the book form at Barnes and Noble today, and so I'm going to read this one in on my free time. I got a book light, so I'm going to read that in my free time. But I went online and I bought. Tribe of Hackers Red Team Edition, and really interesting concept on a book that I think that every aspiring cybersecurity guy should read. So we're gonna go ahead and go through that on Hack the File. Enjoy. All right, so here is the new book I bought. It's called Tribe of Hackers Red Team, and I don't know if you guys heard of it already, but this is the first I've heard of it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in here and we're gonna find out what it's all about. It's really, really interesting. So we're gonna go in here and I'm going to go to the introduction so we can find out what this book is about, and if you guys want to read it and stuff. I think so. I like reading fiction and nonfiction, but nonfiction is my favorite because I like reading and learning new things. And so something like this, I can read this and just flip through it. It's just good reading. So, and it's such a great idea for a book. So I'm just gonna go through and read the introduction. I don't have to explain it in the introduction. The author is going to explain what his concept is and his idea in this book. So here we go. So howdy, my name is Marcus. I'm a hacker. You probably picked this book up to learn from the best in red teams. I'm going to start off with one of my favorite sayings. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This quote is attributed to the Greek Stoic philosopher Oedipus. Epictetus? I don't know, you tell me. Trying to live out that wisdom is something I never master. When I was young, I was a know-it-all. I'd argue just to be right, even when confronted with facts. That definition showed I was wrong. I was that kid in class who would raise my hand for everything, every question, practically jumping out of the seat when asked when I was asked a question. At some point, my parents bought an encyclopedia set, which I read from cover to cover. So this dude is like likes to read, apparently, cover to cover. Yeah. I wanted it to. Okay, hold up. From cover to cover. I read dictionaries to learn new words. I wanted to be like Einstein and Martin Luther King Jr. rolled into one, and that's a good mix. This behavior of wanting to know everything and believing I was the smartest person on earth was crushed when I joined the military. And so, in other words, he got humbled, and being humbled around other badass individuals. I was pretty smart and excellent test taker, so I got into the U.S. Navy crypto logic program. After I left basic training and arrived at my technical training command, I noticed it was swamped with nothing but really smart people. When I arrived in Scotland for my first duty station, it was more of the same. I worked with senior non-commissioned officers and civilians who absolutely blew my mind. So, he got there and he got humbled, and he realized that he wasn't the smartest guy in the room at all times. I'm going to skip this part, and I'm going to skip some. Okay, so from then on, I asked the most questions, asking questions, and more importantly, listening to what others had to say. Changed my life and learning. I still read everything I can get my hands on and kept close to people who knew their stuff. All my questions led me to successful career in cybersecurity. My question asking Listening was great with dealing with prospects and customer sales on things. Okay, so let's skip a little bit more. Last year, when I started working on the original Tribe of Hackers, we asked more than okay. So this is what the book is about. So, um, which I think is brilliant. You know what I mean? And I even like the name Tribe of Hackers. That's awesome. Okay, so last year I started working on the original Tribe of Hackers. We asked more than 70 individuals in cybersecurity questions about how they started and found success. In this book, I brought along a merry bunch of hackers who specialize in offensive security, aka Red Team. Before we get started, let me quickly lay out what Red Team is. So you guys know what Red Team is, okay? Exploits seem to validate that the vulnerability is real. Okay, so let's skip that. On the opposite side of the house, a blue team is responsible for monitoring networks and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna skip all that. You know what blue team, red team is, okay? Okay, so to formulate questions, I reached out to the cybersecurity community on Twitter to hear what they wanted to know about the most. So here's the examples of what he put on Twitter. Marcus J. Carvey, shall we play a game? We are working on a new book, Tribe of Hackers, Red Team Edition. Tweet a question in this thread that you would like answered in the book. We will focus 5 tweets, questions in the book for the community. If you see a good question, like it. Originally, I planned on using 5 questions for the book. Okay, so he was going to make it short. But on second thought, I decided to take more than 5 questions from the community. The following are the questions inspired responses from the community, plus a few more. So these are the questions that he asked the community for the book. How did you get to start on Red Team? You know, basic question. What is the best way to get on Red Team? And this is very good for me, aspiring pen testers, me, you, aspiring hackers, anybody that wants to be a hacker on the Red Team, or you know, even if you're blue team, you want to kind of get into the mind of somebody that's done it before. So if you pay attention to some other questions, they'll ask some more technical questions here. Why can't we agree on what Red Team is? And another question. What is one thing the rest of the information security doesn't understand about being on Red Team? What is the most toxic flash falsehood you have heard related to red, blue, or purple teams? You know, stuff like that. So here's all the questions. I'm going to go through here. What is the biggest ethical quandary you experienced while assigned on the Jacob? I got some really good questions here. What does the Red Team work together to get the job done? How does the Red Team work together to get the job done? This is stuff that's from the top professionals, okay, in the industry. So this is their one-on-one answering the questions for you. So this book is just invaluable, man. This is an awesome book. So we're gonna go back here and we're gonna read this. So it says, so those are the 21 questions. So apparently gonna do 21 questions. Okay, we asked 47 experts, 47 people in the book, including himself. I thought I'd chime in with my opinions to set the stage before getting the 46 others. Hope you enjoy it. So this is Marcus J. Carey, and yeah, this book is by Marcus J. Carey. April 12, 2019, 2021, so that's 3 years old. Still relevant. Okay, so we'll come here. Marcus J. Carey. Today, we're only going to do maybe we'll pick 1 or 2. Okay, so I don't want to make this video too long. I like to keep it at 30 minutes or something. Make sure, see, and then we'll read it, and then we'll go over some stuff. So let's do the author first and foremost. So today, open source tools dominate the red team space, making it possible for many people to get familiar with the practice. So this is why I'm going to go over tools like I want to do Burp Suite, but in order to do Burp Suite, I have a book that wants me to spend $400 on Burp Suite Professional, and I don't know if I want to do that, because if I get a job and I'm doing red team, they're going to pay for that. So I'm not doing it. So here's Marcus. Okay, he looks like a military guy. Marcus, and okay, so here's his Twitter, and here's his website. So what I recommend is going in here and following these guys on Twitter, which I'm going to do, and going to their website in their LinkedIn profile and seeing if they, send them a friend request and say, hey, I read your book, man. I read you in this book. The other guys are in here. Okay, so Marcus J. Curry is a cybersecurity community advocate, a startup founder with more than 25 years of protecting government and commercial sensitive data. He started his cybersecurity career in the U.S. Navy cryptology with further service in the National Security Agency, the NSA. Yeah, y'all know what that is. How did you get your start on Red Team? The funny thing about my Red Team journey is I wasn't technically a Red Team paid Red Team member. Teamer until I got fired from a job and had to make ends meet. I picked up work at East Coast Consultancy doing penetration testing and product development. I was able to gain Red Team skills by working at the Defense Cyber Crime Center, the DC-3. There I did research, taught, and did course development. Amazingly, I had access to all the Red Team tools that I could imagine, plus every digital forensics tool on the planet. Man, yeah, so that's why I go through digital forensics books and do a little digital stuff here, because digital forensics is awesome. Okay. I also had the pleasure of working with a guy named Johnny Long, who was quite the hacker and Red Teamer himself. So he's calling himself a Red Teamer, So he likes that phrase, I think. I'm extremely lucky to have been in those positions to prepare me for a Red Team role. Today, open source tools dominate the Red Team space, making it possible for people to get familiar and practice. They say luck is when preparation meets opportunity. It sucks that I was laid off, but it was a blessing to have the Red Team skills to pay the bills. That's right, baby. What is the best way to get a Red Team job? It is uncommon for people to start directly in the Red Team jobs. The best way is to have or gain skills such as internet networking, system administration, software engineering, and I was doing software engineering, and start out in a blue team role. Getting into a blue team role will also allow you to gain cybersecurity experience and network with people in your dream role. You can network internally and externally. So what he's saying is sometimes you have to start off on the blue team, SOC analyst or something like that, and then you can work your way in there to Red Team if you're interested in it. How can someone gain Red Team skills without getting into trouble with the law? This is a good question. I recommend downloading virtual machines and web applications that have vulnerabilities like Metasploitable, and a virtual machine. Try hack me and hack the box and all this other crap. There are plenty out there. Just be careful to don't put them on the internet because they will be compromised in short order. In other words, they're just like regular systems. They're connected to the internet. If you do not have permission from the system's owner to run tools, you're probably violating some law. If you're trying to get into some Red Team, try exploiting one of the systems that you own or a system that you have explicitly written permission to exploit. Okay? You all know that. Why can't we agree on what Red Team is? I didn't even know people were disagreeing with that. I think it's human nature to want to differentiate from each other, especially in a competitive environment like cybersecurity. What I've learned is there are only so many ways to solve a problem. Many times we end up with the same solution to the same problem. We end up having different names for the same thing. The whole saying is there's no new ideas under the sun. It is proven right every time I talk to people trying to solve these same issues. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to read the question and we'll skip it and see if there's anything more interesting, because there's going to be, 27 different questions. So we're going to read maybe about 3 or 4, skip through some whenever, and from 2 or 3 or 2 more guys or girls, whoever's has in the book. So, when should you introduce former Red Team? Okay, how do you explain the value of Red Teaming? What is the least bang for your buck security controls that you see implemented? Antivirus. Okay, so now we're gonna. How do you feel? Okay, so let's go to the next guy or person. Okay, this is David Bell. He looks interesting. I think he has them all by names right here. That's pretty cool. So let's go to, let's say, Stephanie. Let's do a girl or female. The best way to get red team job is to network. The goal when networking with people is building relationships. Okay, and this is Stephanie Snow Carruthers, and that's her Twitter handle. So go follow her on Twitter, man. And she is a professional liar performing social engineering as a surface. Oh, so this lady is a social engineer. Man, she's manipulative. She can get you real good. For her clients, Stephanie specializes in using her social engineering skills to performing a variety of assessments, including onset. We all know what that is. Phishing. Phishing is what? Video phishing? Covert entry and red team exercises. She works with clients of all sizes. So this is the one that you want to get into some Kevin Mitnick stuff. You know what I'm saying? I read all his books. She works with clients of all sizes, from startups to Fortune 100 companies, as well as government agencies. Since 2014, Stephanie has presented and taught at numerous security conferences and private events around the world. For fun, Stephanie has earned black badges for winning the social engineering Capture the Flag, SecDef, DEF CON 22, and also the Vault. Man, a physical security competition at SaintCon 2017. Stephanie also enjoys traveling the world to see beautiful locations and meet new people. Okay, so Stephanie sounds like legit covert hacker stuff. Social engineering, that's dope. How do you get a start in red team? Actually, let's skip this one, okay? Well, let's see what she says on that one. See if how it differs from the first person. The short answer is slowly. I started my career by specializing in social engineering and physical security by working at different organizations, including an information security consultancy and government contractor. And I even started my own business. At each of these different types of organizations, I was able to grow and learn professionally in different ways. However, I still worked hard at developing and expanding my specific skill set. In time, as a result of networking, a red team saw value in my specialized skills, set me and made me an offer. I brought a specific talent value to the team. I think a common misconception about red teamers is that they must be jacks of all trades. That's not the case at all. Having a group of talented individuals in specific areas makes for a much more talented and capable team. So in other words, you don't need jack of all trades. You can have somebody that specializes in social engineering, and that's it. That individual might be very, very good at it. You might have a dude that can it's good at hacking, just one area hacking, maybe just web hacking or something like that. You got another dude, digital forensics, he can recover data. And then if you get all those guys together, you delegate it off to that person or something like that, right? Instead of somebody that's kind of good at everything. So let's skip that one. Okay, so let's see what she says about this one. So how can someone gain red team skills without getting in trouble with the law? I think the question is flawed. First and foremost, when people say red team skills, I feel like oh crap, Inigo Montoya would say, yeah, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. That's a good one. Man, red team skills aren't anything more than working in a fast-paced team dynamic. The technical aspects of red team aside, you can get red team skills anywhere there's a fast-paced dynamic, from McDonald's to the military. Anytime you require to work as part instead of the whole, you're working on red team skills. In fact, you have to go out of your way to gain these skills in an illegal manner. With so many opportunities present, it's just a matter of knowing where to look. So she seems more like gray, gray. It's more of a, go get it done. You know what I mean? Like if whatever you gotta do. I mean, there's some. Wait, hold on. Let me reread that before I commit to that. In fact, you'd have to go. Okay. If you're working on red team, in fact, you'd have to go out of your way to gain these skills in an illegal manner with so many opportunities present. Okay. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the technical aspect, though. So this lady is like really interesting. Um, this, let's go see what else. Let's see what other ones. Okay, other questions. So this is a book that you could sit down and just read it, like an entertainment book. Reading it. But if you're in cybersecurity, you understand how cool this book would be. Some people are reading like Stephen King, which I love Stephen King. But you're sitting in the corner reading something like this and laughing. Like, what are you laughing about? Nothing. All right, let's do the ethical. What is the biggest ethical quandary you experience while on an assignment objective? This is actually a good one. I had a client ask me to leave out findings from the phishing assessment. A C-level employee provided their network credentials to my malicious website, and they didn't want the information to be on the final report. Aha! On one hand, it would have been an extremely easy piece of cake to omit the data from the final report. No one would have even known it was missing. On the other hand, I knew deep down inside it was wrong. I ended up now before I tell you, I want you to guess what she did. No, I'm just kidding. You can see it. On the other hand, I knew deep down inside it was wrong. I ended up explaining to the client that I could not remove any of the findings and proceeded to deliver an honest final report. So that guy probably got in trouble. I got in trouble. And yeah, sad, but it's okay. Maybe not. I wouldn't think that if you're in a real company that's wanting to legitly that's serious about their findings and serious about cybersecurity, you would imagine that company. But then again, it depends on who's running it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of companies aren't on that level. Yet, man. About themselves. So you would imagine that company, if they were on that level, they would want all the information. They wouldn't punish anybody. That they would give them training. Hey, this is okay. This is what you did. Hey, it's absolutely fine. This is why we're doing this. And then they would actually train them and better train them, or not only that person, but everybody in the company. So who knows? Okay, so let's go to one more person, because we've got about 9 minutes left. So let's do Hispanic, Marco Figueroa. Okay, I'm Hispanic, so I want to do one of those. Let's do a little mixture of everybody. You know what I mean? Male, female. Okay, now Marco Figueroa. Hey, from my perspective, skills trumps everything. Oh, see, I agree with that. Over the years, I've aligned myself with way smarter people than me, who have helped me grow into security professional that I am today. It's Marco Figueroa. There he is. And here's his Twitter. Like I said, get him on Twitter, man. Marco Figueroa is a senior security researcher at a Fortune 550 company whose technical expertise includes reverse engineering, bug hunting, and incident handling. So reverse engineering is self-explanatory. And APT group tracking. He has a deep understanding of threat intelligence. I think this guy teaches at my school. Let me see. Yeah, Marco Figueroa. I'm gonna have to look that guy up. I think he's one of the teachers at my university. Okay. He has a deep understanding of threat intelligence, tradecraft across different market verticals and organizations to identify attack vectors, trends, and nation-state actors. And he utilizes the latest techniques from nation-state actor reports, enhancing his offensive cybersecurity system. Okay, let's see what he says about how do you get started at Red Team. How do you get started at Red Team? My first Red Team engagement was when I was a security analyst at Fortune 50 company in 2006, and one of my coworkers co-founded a consultant company in India that had more than 100 employees. For about a week, this coworker, whom I would call Randy, was asking me security questions about specific network hacking techniques. At first, I thought it was interesting and security based. He was an Oracle DB database developer, but then I finally asked him why he wanted to know all these different techniques. He informed me that the company was being attacked every day and was playing whack-a-mole with attackers. The question he was asking me were to see if I was the right person for the job. He asked if I was interested in doing some pen tests and wanted me to figure out how these intruders were gaining access. So Randy gave me the scope of the engagement. The following Monday, we had a contract signed with terms. To make a long story short, the parameter was weak with default credentials on the router. Man, and internally the switches had default credentials as well. Whew. The internal infrastructure needed to be hardened by the administrators. The lesson I learned from this back then was that it doesn't matter how big or small a company is, the red teamers should inform the stakeholders immediately about every critical impact vulnerability to the organization. So this guy is like saying, the basics need to be addressed first, no matter how big or small a company is, before you go into anything more intensive or more deeper, right? Okay, what is the best way to get on a red team? This will be the last guy. From my perspective, skills trump everything. Over the years, I've aligned myself with smarter people that have helped me grow. Okay, what happens when you begin to align yourself with like-minded individuals? It enables you to elevate your skills to another level. So that's what you're doing when you're watching my videos. Okay, you're aligning yourself with like-minded individuals. Now, I might not have the skills that he's talking about yet, but one day I will. Okay, so I plan on being in cybersecurity for a very long time. And so basically, you want to align yourself with like-minded individuals like me. That's why you're watching this video. If you're watching this video, okay? Here are my recommendations for how to do this and land a red team job. Okay, so let's pay attention. 1, figure out who are the wicked smart red teamers in the industry. That's what this book is for. Go to the red team conference, meet people, share ideas, get tips, tricks. People by nature love to help others. So if we have a well thought out question, and ask that person who know will have the answers. Okay, 2, follow people on Twitter. That's what I said. Follow these guys on Twitter. Go through this. I'm gonna go through this book, and I'm gonna try to follow a lot of people on Twitter. Okay, and use TweetDeck, so you can create a group named Red Team. A few people I follow who provide me value through their tweets are Toby Hush. So he's giving you all his contacts right here, man. That's insane. On Twitter. But there are so many other people delivering value that, okay, so he's giving you a bunch of Twitter people to follow that he follows. Okay, and this is a bad dude. Attend conferences like your life depends on it. I am where I am today because of all the knowledge that I gained from attending talks and hallway conversations and conferences. Every single time I attend a conference, I walk away with a badge of questions answered and cleared agenda of the things that I need to implement and learn. I seek out people I know have more knowledge than I do to assist me on the roadblocks that I might be facing at the moment. Okay, go to conferences. Man, I can't wait, because I would love to attend cybersecurity conferences. And I hope the company that I work for when I graduate sends me to these conferences to go pick up tips, to go learn from people and all that stuff, like nerd out on cybersecurity. I would love that. That's just a dream come true. This is one simple thing. Okay, this is one simple thing and beneficial. Follow up with people you meet. Make sure they remember you. So the next time you see them, they will ask you about your progression and the questions that you have. Ask them. Oh, that's actually true. Yeah, that's some great advice. Talk to people. Follow up with them. Be real about yourself. Don't just, hey, all right, I'll see you next time, and then not care and then never follow up with them, because you want to make bonds with people. You're in the same industry, so you want to be real with people. Say, hey, how's it going? And you want to honestly learn. Now, if you're not really trying to learn, or you're not really trying to be in the cybersecurity field, you're just doing it for a job, you might have a problem. Okay, it's good to want to have a passion for it, or at least have a really good interest in it for the long run. And I think everybody that gets into a career field, most of the time, even if they're not sure if they want to be in it, they embrace it once they graduate. They don't want to waste all that time, and they do the job and stuff like that. So provide value to as many people as possible. When you do this one thing without expectations of anything turn, the doors will open for you. When I find something incredibly cool and I think a friend might like it, I reach out to them and share the knowledge. Exactly. Yep. That's how you build trust. I love helping people and sharing because this community has done so much for me. That's real right there, man. All right. So that's it. That's a little taste of this, And so I bought this one on the digital, and that's once again that's Tribe of Hackers, Red Team, baby. And I paid like $15 digital for it right now. One click, one buy. And it's written by Marcus. Let's go back to the introduction. Let's go to acknowledgments. Tribe of Hackers. Oh, right here. So right here we have the name, Tribe of Hackers, Marcus J. Carey and Jennifer Jin. Tribal knowledge from the best in offensive cybersecurity. Go get this book. Barnes & Noble, Amazon. I don't care where you get it. This is a good read, especially if you're getting into cybersecurity. So that's my video. And remember, so you're getting into the hacker community and you're getting into cybersecurity community. It is a community. I've been researching and looking up stuff, LinkedIn, anything you want to go, anywhere you want to go, anything you want to look at. There's a cybersecurity group, and it's a tight-knit group because I would say it's a niche. It used to be more niche, but because now it's growing and everybody is getting into cybersecurity, it's booming. But on the other hand, I would say it is a tribe. That's why it says Tribe of Hackers. It's a tribe of people that basically you're either in it or you ain't in it. And I am barely scratching the top of this iceberg. Okay, I can imagine how deep it goes down, and you get down into that abyss. How big that iceberg gets underwater, because I mean, the vast knowledge and study that's in this area is just phenomenal. And like I said, the tribe is tight. So you're gonna learn anything from other people, okay? And from little groups of people. There's groups of software engineers, a little tight group. Electrical engineers, a little tight group. Scholars of any area, a little tight group. And so cybersecurity is no different. So a book like this is awesome because literally, if you wanted to, you could buy this book, get a Twitter account, and start plugging away. Chapter by chapter, person by person. You can literally go to each one of these people in this book and Twitter them. You know what I'm saying, or send them a Twitter or whatever. I don't use Twitter, so I'm gonna have to look that up and see what's going on with Twitter. And start twittering people's names or something. I don't know. A lot of these people have websites and have LinkedIn profiles. So let's go to let's go to Ben Donnelly, right? Go to Ben Donnelly, and there's his Twitter, right? But then, okay, he doesn't have one. So go to the next guy. Don't break the law. It's that easy. Skip Duckwell. There's Skip Duckwell. He looks like he'd get you if you break the law. It looks like an ex-cop. Some of these people don't have, other than Twitter, right? It'd be cool to just go through. Let me see this. Who's the one that had a website? So, I think it was Stephanie. Even Marcus has one. So if you go to the author, Marcus got a website. Let's go to the website and see what happens. It's a LinkedIn. Where's his LinkedIn profile? I'm gonna so here he is. How do I follow him? Contact info. Here's his contact info. Let's message him and say, Um, Tribe. Red team. I can't spell. That's it. So, reading your book, Tribal Hackers Vengeance. I'm gonna send him that and see what he says. That's because he's cool. Okay, there you go. Uh-oh. So that's it. What's so hard about that? You know, and then what you're doing is you're reaching out to like people in the industry. I mean, this book is just amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's like such a valuable thing to have to, you know, click here and see if anybody else has got websites or something. Now he might message me back, he might not. He might say, "Hey, you interested in that? Send me a what are you doing? What is your background? You know what I mean? Check my profile. I got a lot of cybersecurity stuff on my link. So here's this guy's LinkedIn profile, right? Bradley Schwassenbuhl. Schwassenbuhl. That's a hard one, right? Anyways, so I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Hack the File with Michael Lopez, and again, I hope you had fun, because these videos are about having fun, man. If you like cybersecurity, you're gonna think these videos are fun. So until next time, see you later on Hack the File.